Howdy, partners. Saddle up, because we're riding into the heart of Yellowstone territory, talking about the show that's had folks glued to their screen since 2018. That's right, Yellowstone, the gem of the Paramount Network, has been stirring up dust and drama like no other. Now, with Season 5 having rolled out in 2022, the trail ahead's gotten a bit rocky, especially with word spreading like wildfire about Kevin Costner hanging up his hat as John Dutton. Yep, there's been chatter about a sequel series without our main cowboy, and that's got everyone's spurs a-jingling with curiosity. But hold your horses, because the plot thickens. With Yellowstone Season 6 gearing up to shoot in just a few shakes, the big question marks whether Costner will be riding back in. Rumors are flying faster than a bucking bronco that he might just tip his hat and make a cameo. Yet, with Taylor Sheridan holding the reins tight, it's all up in the air if we'll see Costner back on the rant. So, what's the plan if our lead cowboy doesn't return? Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into that mystery. Plus, we're gonna corral all the info on Yellowstone Season 6 and lasso in the latest on every spinoff from 4 6s to the new tale set in 2024 and 1944. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open, cowboy, because we've got a wild ride ahead. Costner wants to play his role as John Dutton again. But Yellowstone's future looking a bit dusty without its main cowboy, Kevin Costner, at the helm. Yep, the 68-year-old actor and Taylor Sheridan, the mastermind behind the show, have been at a bit of a standoff over when to shoot and some contract wrangles, and it's causing a bit of a holdup on the show's last hurrah. It ain't just that causing the delay. There's the big actor strike, Costner's own rough ride through a divorce, his plans to start up his own Western saga called Horizon, and Sheridan's busy wrangling other shows for Paramount Plus like Special Ops, Lioness and Lawmen, Bass Reeves. Now, here's the lowdown from Matthew McConaughey over at Puck News. He's saying, Kevin Costner's been telling people he's planning to return for at least a cameo and possibly more, but there are currently no discussions for him to do that. McConaughey wrote in his newsletter, even if Costner significantly lowers his financial and time commitment demands, Sheridan may not want to bother reopening his finished scripts to accommodate a send-off for John Dutton. He added, with shooting set for this spring and summer, the clock is ticking on any reconciliation. The Cowboys conflict. Why is there no Yellowstone Season 6? At the center of this rodeo is Kevin Costner. Word is, he's none too pleased with how things are shaking out for his character. He went to Taylor Sheridan to air his grievances, and Sheridan's response is, just act. From the start, I said that John Dutton would be like the Godfather. Now, back in February 2023, Deadline spilled the beans on a bit of a standoff between Costner and the Paramount Network over how much time he'd be spending on set for Season 5. Costner's got a new love, a Western called Horizon, and it's been pulling his focus. For the first half of Yellowstone's 5th season, he was on set for 50 days, but for the second half, he was looking to cut it down to just a week. That didn't sit well, leading Paramount Network to think about closing the curtain on Yellowstone and moving towards a sequel show. Costner's kept mum on the issue publicly, but during his divorce proceedings in September of 2023, some of the dirty laundry got aired. Costner said in court, somewhere along the line, they wanted to change things. They wanted to do 5A and 5B. It affected Horizon. I was going to do my movie, Horizon, and leave that show, do my movie, then do B. A show I was only doing once a year, I was now doing twice. Costner continued, we did negotiate. There were issues about creative. I tried to break the logjam. They walked away. Costner also noted that he was offered $24 million to shoot Yellowstone Season 6 and 7. Yet, he's hinting at taking this dispute to court, though as of January 2024, that hasn't happened yet, and it's still up in the air whether he'll be back for the final chapters of Yellowstone. On the other hand, Sheridan shed some light on the matter in a June 2023 interview with The Hollywood Reporter. My last conversation with Kevin was that he had this passion project he wanted to direct. He and the network argued about when he could be done with Yellowstone. I said, we can certainly work a schedule toward his preferred exit date, which we did. Then Sheridan added, my opinion of Kevin as an actor hasn't altered. I've never had an issue with Kevin that he and I couldn't work out on the phone. But once lawyers get involved, then people don't get to talk to each other and start saying things that aren't true and attempt to shift blame based on how the press or public seem to be reacting. He took a lot of this on the chin, and I don't know that anyone deserves it. I'm disappointed. It truncates the closure of his character. It doesn't alter it, but it truncates it. However, even if there is no Season 6, there's an insanely good sequel. Before the actor strike last year, there was talk about a new series that Matthew McConaughey might be leading. Now, whether this new adventure setting up camp on the Dutton Ranch in Montana or somewhere else, that's still up in the air. Deadline reported that, It has not been revealed whether the McConaughey-fronted franchise extension will be set on the Dutton Ranch in Montana or elsewhere, and which of the original stars of Yellowstone will appear in the spin-off series, but we hear a couple of them have received offers. The plan for the returning cast members may not get finalized until Sheridan finishes writing, we hear. See, this spin-off wasn't supposed to mix with the original Yellowstone folks, but come February 2024, the winds changed direction. Reports saying that Kelly Reilly, Cole Hauser, and Luke Grimes, that's Beth and Casey Dutton, along with Beth's husband, Rip Wheeler, might just saddle up for this new ride. They're looking for a hefty bag of coins to come back, with Reilly and Hauser wanting $1.25 million and $1.2 million for every episode they grace. Furthermore, after the storm that was Yellowstone Season 5A, picturing Reilly and Wes Bentley, Beth and Jamie Dutton, two kin with a feud as big as Montana Sky, teaming up again seems about as likely as a fish learning to walk. Jamie's been stirring the pot, aiming to unseat his dad, which in the Dutton world might just earn him a one-way ticket to the train station. And I ain't talking about catching a ride to the next town. And don't forget, there's been more than just this spin-off. The second season of 1923's already in the works. And there's buzz about a 1944 series where the Duttons face the challenges of World War II. Is Matthew McConaughey going to star in the Yellowstone spin-off? Since February 2023, there's been talk as loud as a thunderstorm about Matthew McConaughey possibly steering into the Yellowstone spin-off series. But hold your horses, because no handshake deal has been sealed with McConaughey just yet. Come February 2024, word spread that McConaughey's waiting to lay eyes on the script before he decides to saddle up. And that ain't all. Michelle Pfeiffer, a true dynamo of the silver screen, is eyeing the horizon towards the Yellowstone universe too. Reports in February 2024 whispered she's in talks to ride alongside McConaughey in the spin-off. Now, whether she'll be a Dutton or not is as mysterious as the Montana skies. No deal's been stamped as of April 2024, even though Pfeiffer's got an Emmy nod under her belt for playing Betty Ford in Showtime's First Lady. Talking about McConaughey, this rodeo could be his big return to TV, leading the charge for the first time since he had folks talking with his role in HBO's True Detective back in 2014. And with his star shining maybe even brighter than Kevin Costner's, this news is stirring up more dust than a cattle drive. Now, on to the multi-million-dollar question. Who might McConaughey be playing? Well, he could be a Dutton we've never heard tell of, which sure would be a twist. Or maybe he'll tie the knot into the Dutton family. Or perhaps he's a lone rider, not bound by blood or marriage to the Dutton clan. Does Kevin Costner's new movie, Horizon, an American Saga, have any Yellowstone connections? Lately, Kevin Costner stirred up the dust with the first look at his brand new movie, Horizon, an American Saga. Now, this isn't just any old film because it's a tale close to Costner's heart. One he's put his own coin behind, set to unfold in 2 parts before the year's out. Now, fans of Yellowstone perked up their ears at this news, noticing a familiar trail between the movie and their beloved show. We're talking about a wild western backdrop. Costner standing tall as the hard-as-nails head of the homestead, and a posse of familiar faces like Will Patton, Giovanni Ribisi, Michael Rooker, Sam Worthington, Jenna Malone, and Luke Wilson, to name just a few. But before you saddle up thinking Horizon's another chapter in the Yellowstone saga, hold your horses. Despite treading similar ground with its themes, Horizon carves out its own path through the American Civil War era, far from the roots of the Dutton family tree explored in spin-offs like 1883 and 1923. Yet, that hasn't stopped Yellowstone fans from hitching their wagon to Costner's latest adventure, eager to see where this journey through the Old West will take them. And as one fan puts it, Kevin Costner truly is a legend in the Western genre, and this movie looks like it's going to be another masterpiece. Can't wait to see it on the big screen. Another one added, Kevin Costner backing this movie with his own money deserves mad respect. This is going to be epic.